All right, this is an omnibus I've been super excited for. They did July 1961, which is the first appearance of Fantastic Four. And what Marvel did is they made this omnibus of every issue that came out that month. So you got a whole smattering of exactly what the modern comics, or the Marvel comics, were at the time. Very cool. They did the same thing now for the first appearance of Spider-Man in June 1962 with this beautiful omnibus. It contains Journey into Mystery 83, Amazing Fantasy 15, Tales to Astonish 35, Kathy 18, Life with Millie 18, Patsy Walker 102, Tales of Suspense 33, Strange Tales 100, Kid Colt Outlaw 106, Fantastic Four number 6, Linda Carter Student Nurse number 7, Millie the Model 10, Love Romances 101, Incredible Hulk 3, Gunsmoke Western 72, Patsy and Hetty 84, and the Rawhide Kid number 30. So a lot of reading in this. It's good stuff. And they've restored all these books. Here's the inside without the dust jacket. So you get that Spider-Man without the whole background and all that. Pretty cool. Looks great. And you get some nice introductions in this as well. I really love getting this whole diversity of content out of this. Mark Waid wrote the introduction. You get the first appearance of Thor in here in Journey into Mystery. What's great, though, is there's backup stories in this, too. And every issue that Marvel did back in the 60s here has 2 pages of prose. And so each one of these has a little adventure story or romance story or Western story, depending on the magazine. And then they go into that. So, of course, the Jack Kirby Thor is awesome. You get a backup here with Steve Ditko, When the Jungle Sleeps, at the end of this. Beautiful stuff. Some animal art by Ditko, which is fantastic. Amazing Fantasy was Steve Ditko's title, really. So Ditko got to do all the stories in these every month. It was his baby. And of course, Spider-Man came out of that. He was originally signed to Jack Kirby, but Stan Lee liked Ditko's designs better. And of course, this is one of the most famous stories of all time. Great stuff. But that's not all that's in Amazing Fantasy 15. There's the bell ringer at the end. And the man in the mummy case. Some horror. This is a very classic style Ditko drawing with this guy showing his fear as he's being chased down by the mummy. Great stuff. You get this fan page about Amazing Fantasy. Martians Among Us. Oh my gosh, who's the Martian? I've read this story several times. Good stuff. Then I get into Tales and Astonish. Ant-Man, this is, I guess, his second or third appearance in here. And again, you get these beautiful stories. Beautiful art. Some more Ditko short stories in the back here. Fun stuff. And then there's a lot of stuff that didn't get collected. So the Ditko stuff got its own omnibus. The Kirby Monsters got its omnibus. But Larry Lieber, Stan Lee's brother, wrote a bunch of scripts. And, different artists did it. Don Heck did this one, who's a longtime Marvel guy also. So it's nice to be able to read these along with it. And then you get into some real strange changes. And Stan Lee wrote all of this, guys. This is what's crazy. This is like an Archie-style thing called Kathy. And there's a few different Archie-style things. Stan Goldberg is the artist here. In these, they have short, just like slice-of-life stories where they're humorous. And, of course, they have the cutouts of the dresses and things like that. These are really nice to read, actually. I actually like them better than the monster and superhero stuff. Just because it's refreshing. You don't get to see a lot of this stuff. And I wish they'd do a whole deal. And as you see, Life with Millie. Millie the model. She's a model, and her friends are models too. And she's got boy troubles and modeling troubles. Same sort of deal. It's amazing how many books these guys cranked out per month, if you think about it. Can you imagine a modern artist doing this much work? Oh, my gosh. But beautiful stuff. Patsy Walker, this is done by Al Hartley. And you can see it's got a little more traditional of a style, a little less Archie-like. It feels a little more adult because of that. But again, you've got the same sort of romance tropes in the Patsy Walker stuff, which is really fun to read. Very entertaining stuff. Tales of Suspense, we get back into monster stories, some Jack Kirby monster stories to start. You get some Ditko again and some Heck in here also. So like I said, you just get this nice smattering of stories. So it never gets boring because you're reading something different all the time. And that's how you'd feel if you were picking up all these Marvel comics. Kid Colt Outlaw. This is a gunslinger Western, and Kid Colt was framed for a crime. So he's on the run, but he's a good guy who's fighting bad guys. And of course, a lot of circus books happened back in the Stan Lee era. Actually, a couple in this volume. And Dick Ayers did this beautiful Western piece. And so he's a good guy. And we get the Fantastic Four. Of course, now we're on number 6 for that. And this is the one where Namor and Doom team up, and Namor kind of realizes Doom's a bad guy by the end and then saves the Fantastic Four. Very ridiculous stuff as they as Jack Kirby lifts the Fantastic Four headquarters into space. And they have to fight in space. And then Dr. Doom goes off. Now, what's great is they do print the letters pages for Fantastic Four in here. Linda Carter, student nurse. So this is a nursing thing. One of the stories in here, there's like this rich millionaire who comes and shows up, and he's looking for a bride, and one of the girls is really and he's like a sheik from some country. One of the girls is looking to get with him, and he's like, oh yeah, you'll make my great 18th bride. And she's like, never mind. Back into Millie the model. There's 2 Millie books every month, so I guess she was a pretty popular character. It's amazing she kind of disappeared. But I'd love an omnibus of this stuff. I mean, gosh, it's good. Love romance. Now, this is like short, regular romance stuff. Jack Kirby did a lot of these, as you can see. Look at that Kirby art right there. Beautiful stuff. Really enjoyable short romance stuff. So, women pining for men, and, and usually they end up in, will you marry me? Oh, yes, I will. It's fun. I love these stories. They're great stuff. The Incredible Hulk. In this one, the Hulk is blasted off in a rocket, and he comes back. And Rick Jones kind of learns to control the Hulk a little bit, and then you get a little origin repeat. Now you get the Ringmaster. Again, like I said, the circuses are always happening. Stan Lee recycles a lot of his concepts, and it was in the Western. Now the Ringmaster's mind-controlling everybody in this, but the Hulk is able to break free. Good stuff. We get Gunsmoke Western. This is the origin of Kid Colt Outlaw. So they have a magazine of just generic Western, generic horror, and generic, romance that they don't cover necessarily a single character. But they threw Kid Colt in here also, always cross-branding. But some of these are just random Western stories, and it's cool stuff. And then you get up back to Patsy and Hetty, another Archie-style book. These were very popular back then. Al Hartley drew this one. Drew probably 2-3 books a month. Crazy. Crazy output, all these guys. You never hear about Stan Goldberg or Al Hartley very much. It's too bad. Very good stuff. And then we have the Rawhide Kid, and this is Jack Kirby's Western. So, beautiful Kirby art on a Western. Man, this deserves an omnibus. Also, they might, because it's Kirby. That could happen. I could see a Kirby Rawhide Kid omnibus. But Don Heck drew some also. Wasn't all full Kirby. Good stuff to end this. And just wonderful, wonderful Western again. All right, so now you get a bunch of pages in the back. They've got almost the entirety of Amazing Fantasy, the Spider-Man story in here, in just pencil and ink, which is pretty cool. You also get Ditko's The Bell Ringer. And then there's some Stan Lee articles in the back that talk about this era of comics. So good stuff. Love it. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend this omnibus. This is classics. This is the beginning of the Silver Age-ish. And this is what I want comics to be. So go get this. Leave a comment down below with what you think. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.